Hello everyone and welcome to another episode of Graz Goes Indie, and today we're going to take a look at Looney Tunes World of Mayhem. This is made by Scopely, and I'm pretty sure they're not a small company, but they may be, I don't know. Either way, they're not Ubisoft or EA, so we're going to go ahead and take a look at it, and I'll explain what's going on. I find myself getting more and more invested with this game as I play. It's interesting to say the least, and I'm going to show you how to cause some mayhem in the world of Mayhem. This game is available for Android and iOS devices, so depending on what device you use will depend on what character you get. There's actually character or device-specific characters you can get when you first start off. Now, there is a tutorial, which I can't show you right now for obvious reasons, but it does do a pretty good job of explaining the game, and it gives you a basic overview, and it does a pretty good job. I'll say that much. It's a tutorial, so they're kind of hard to screw up. Let's leave it at that. But anyway, device-specific characters. I have iOS, so I have what's called Showbiz Bugs. Now, these Showbiz tunes are actually pretty good in the beginning. They help you level up, and they help you basically unlock other characters. But after a while, they're not so great. Now, if you can actually get both of them together, which is something that's going to happen down the road, they are pretty viable as a group because you get what these called a relationship bonus. For Showbiz Daffy with Bugs, you would get 10% attack, defense, and speed while they're both on the field of play. And of course, you also have a nemesis, or your nemesis skill, which means if it's on the opponent's team, then this tune will have a 50% more attack when attacking Showbiz Daffy. And for iconic reasons, you kind of get why that is, because again, they always have that rivalry. But these are just one of the things that are in the game. And you have these little bonuses for certain groups, like the police group, like a cop group, or you have specific tune relationships, like Bugs Bunny has a relationship with Porky Pig. You know, you have a friendship skill there, which helps a lot, kind of. So it kind of helps you forge your groups just a little bit, because you can get these bonuses with these characters. But there's not a whole lot of device-specific characters. It's mainly just those two. And again, Scopely said there'll be an event down the road where you can get both. You can get the other tune, which you couldn't get before. Either way, let's take a deep dive into some of these characters before I explain how to succeed in the world of Mayhem. Deep diving into the character. As a matter of fact, let's talk about events real quick, first. I don't know why we just did that, but we're doing it. Events happen very often in the world. Right now we have the Be Prepared tournament, and basically this is revolved around Wile E. Coyote and Wolf/Coyote tunes. Now these are going to roll over into another event later on down the road for Roadrunner, which hasn't been unlocked in the game just yet. So you want to have Wile E. Coyote and some of these Wolf tunes for Roadrunner, so they're already setting everything up here with these events. And again, if you get into the game and you can't partake in an event, don't worry. These events do come back around at some point. You'll get an opportunity to get one of these tunes again later on. It's revolving. It may take some time, but it will come back at some point. Now, getting into the tunes itself, I already have myself a nice 5-star Wile E. Coyote. And this leveling system here is very akin to some of the other games. I believe even Marvel has a game, Strike Force, I believe. It does the same exact thing. So let's go ahead and take a quick look. As you can see, here's your character overlay. Wile E. Coyote, he currently has 6,096 power. He's an attacker tune. He comes from the desert. Knows your groups I'll talk about in a little bit here too. And to give you an idea of, like, he's a desert, epic attacker, dog. Some of these groups within there, like dog, mastermind, and original, there are subgroups you can group together with some tunes and possibly get a bonus. For instance, like relationship. Wile E. Coyote has relationships with Ralph the Wolf and other Ralph the Wolf tunes. You can tell by the little people signal under Ralph's chin, whatever you want to call it. Anyway, he has these relationship bonuses with them, and of course, he has a nemesis skill against all Roadrunner tunes, which right now we have none available, which they will be coming soon. But there's your layout of your character. If you want to see the stats, you tap it. You get Risky Attacker. The Carnivorous Vulgaris can deal high amounts of damage with some backlash to his allies, which I don't understand what they mean by that. I haven't seen backlash against my allies. But you get the rarity, the power level, and of course, the attack, defense, health, and speed. You get all those nice stats to get a better understanding of how your tune works. Now, I already have him currently leveled up at my cap, which is level 48. Easily viewable by my ability here, my profile. Your characters cannot go past your level. They're capped at the level you're at, so take it for what it's worth. You have skills on the right-hand side, which gives you a little overview of what they are. TNT, basic attack, deal 147 damage. Target enemy with 30% chance of dealing 4 times the damage. Now, when this actually procs, when you get 4 times the damage, it is very beastly. This can reek up, at least for me right now, almost up to like 500 some hit point damage. It's awesome. Wile E's probably one of my more favorite characters in this game. Instant Rock. You will have abilities like stunning and silencing. This is extremely helpful. Instant Rock can actually help you take down some characters that could be a real pain with debuffing, or characters that have certain abilities that can do a high amount of damage. You can silence them from using that. Again, it's got a cooldown of 1, so every other turn roughly you can use it. Choo Choo level 4. High damage ability, removing 40% of the opponent's turn meter, and once you level this up more, it actually becomes even more dangerous. So again, very helpful. Get out of here, Crunchyroll. Not now, Crunchyroll. Everyone's gonna find out I'm a weeb. Bird is tastiest. You have your passive skills, which again, they're passive. Every time his tune attacks a bird, you get a little bit of a health buff. 103 from that. Agility 4. I have 20% speed, and Improvise 2 gives me at the beginning a 7% plus attack, which is helpful. Tune-ups. Once you go to the tune-ups part right here, tune-up, this is where you make your abilities better. So if you want to get your Dynamite, if you want to get your Choo Choo level up, get that Choo Choo level up. This is where you come to get it. And you're going to need certain items to do it. In the beginning, this is fairly easy, but once you start getting higher level tune-ups, it becomes a bit more challenging. For instance, for tune-up 22, I would need, for Birdiest Tastiest, whenever this tune hits a bird, it will gain 118 health. I would need Fine Skulls. I would need, 5 of them, which I got. 22 Superior Skulls. 15 Fine Dynamite, which I've clearly got. Plenty of gold. These things, these books right here, these fine resources, they are a bit of a pain to get. You'll have to get them from crates, which is in the Brawl system. I'll explain that in a little bit as well, how you can get those. And they're very fine to get. They're kind of hard to get in a way, but you can get them. Large tune-up crates. For some reason, my image isn't loading, but they're what you get them from. And sometimes you can get them from the shop, but they're usually like 325 gems. And gems are not easy to get. Well, they are, but sometimes can be annoying. You get these archetype boosters. Fine archetype boosters are just like the books or the fine resources. The fine archetype boosters can be hard to get sometimes. You can get them from dailies. You can get them from specific chests. But again, it's kind of rare. It's kind of like a percentage you can get them in. So they're very challenging to get. Now, the regular archetype boosters, like attack booster, they're not as bad to get as well. You may need to get them from chests, and it'll take some time, but you can get them fairly easy. But that's the basics of your character. Now, again, the star level depends on how many pieces you get. Right now, I've got level 5, so I need roughly 800 and probably 19 more pieces in order to get level 6, rank 6, and that's going to be a good while. But I can easily find out where more is at if I look here. As you can see, Wile E. Coyote Wheel, which I've already gotten some. Act 4, Stage 2, which is event-specific act. Be Prepared Tournament, again, throughout the tournament itself. And Special Tunes. So Wile E is kind of hard to get sometimes. He's not generally one you get through generic means. So you have to keep an eye out for certain things in order to grab him. But other than that, that is it. That is your character overview. Now, let's talk about when you first start off the game, when you're getting started. When you first get started, you're going to have, again, your device-specific tune. For me, that was Showbiz Bugs. We go into campaign. You'll start off with the Forest chapter. It's pretty basic. Now, each chapter gets unlocked every 10 levels. So you start off with Forest chapter, then level 10 you get Town chapter, 20 is Farm, 30 is Desert, you get it, and so on and so on. Pretty soon, I'm going to be unlocking the Summit chapter, which is level 50. I'm 2 levels away from that right now myself. Or a level and maybe a quarter, if you want to call it that. But that's how it progresses. And some of these events you won't be able to take part in, unfortunately, because they may require level 30 or 40. But again, don't feel discouraged because you can get them again. They will come back around. And if you are eligible but you can't get the tune, you can either pay if you want, which I don't really recommend, but that's up to you, not me. Or you just wait, like I do. You wait till the next time around and grab it easily. It makes a big difference. But each of these areas, these chapters, are broken up into acts and battles. So they all have 3 acts roughly and 10 battles to an act. We'll start off here. The battle is quite simple. You go in. Actually, I didn't want to hit auto win, but once you get 3 stars, you can auto win a level, and you can farm it for resources, which is handy later on, especially when you start getting to the higher chapters where you need potions, you need a lot of coins, you need resources, like the tree right here. This tree, resources like this will be in every chapter. They're used to build houses, and I'll show you in a little bit what those houses do and how to get most out of farming your tunes. But let's just take this off real quick. Doing the attack is pretty simple. As a matter of fact, since my bugs are so high, I can just do this with him. I don't need any more. But yes, they all have 4 tunes in a battle, basically, on each side. And you try to balance out your teams. The balance would be to get 4 characters. You want to have 1 defender, 2 attackers, and 1 support character. Now, I wish there was a way they would show you what the classification was. They don't show you on the screen. But I can tell you right now, OG Bugs is an attacker. Pepe Le Bard is a support character. He's actually very good at healing. Let's see. Merlin Sam is another great attacker. And let's throw a tank in here. Let's throw in a... Where is my tank? Well, actually, not the greatest, but there we go. Gossamer is a defender, so he would be our tank. Again, not the best, but as you can see, I severely outpower the other team. And generally, this is what you want. You always want to outpower your other team, because then victory is going to be easier to get. All right, so getting into battle. First things first, you have a pretty simple layout. On the bottom left, you have your character, your displayed. Okay, we can see Pepe Le Bard's support character. You've got your current abilities here, which, again, Battle Song 5 heals all your characters at the beginning of each turn, where this is 168. There's our Well-Rounded 5, another passive ability, gives 10% attacks, defense, and speed. And Stuff of Legends. Whenever an opponent is defeated, the tune gains 20% turn meter, which makes it come around quicker, which is really nice. You have our attacking abilities there. As you see on the character, you got your purple bar. That's your speed. When that purple bar fills up, it's your character's turn to attack, and so on. And vice versa on the upper right-hand side where you see the opponent. Speed button up here where the 1X is, you can increase the speed of battle. You can do 1, 2, or 4. I like doing it 4 generally because they're quick. The plus button actually lets you automate the battle itself, so you don't even have to attack. But in this case, I'm going to go ahead and attack anyway. Pretty simple. We should wreck this team regardless and move on from there. Pretty simple, pretty basic. 3-star event, and again, when you get 3 stars, you will easily be able to auto-win this battle later on. And you can get some pretty good events, pretty good things for them. You can get pretty good coins. Potions are going to be a big thing, because you're going to need experience potions to level your character. That's one thing I neglected to mention. You will need experience potions to level up your character itself. I should have mentioned that, but our one character was tapped out anyway, so we couldn't get Wily any more levels. So I will show you here really quick what to do to level your characters. Now for this, level up. I've only got 2 of them, so I'm not going to really get much out of that for Rocket Coyote, but you get the idea of how it works. You go in, select whatever potion you have, and you just go ahead and use all your potions to level them up. In the beginning, it's fairly cheap, it's inexpensive, so leveling isn't a problem, but later on, when you get to higher levels, like I'm at 48, leveling them up becomes quite expensive, so coin becomes a very precious resource. Now, let's go up to the top real quick before we go into anything else. Energy. You're going to need energy up here for your campaign modes, for your special campaigns for events, things like that. You'll always have 50 as a max. They haven't said anything about raising the cap just yet, so 50 is 50. It is what it is. It takes roughly 6 minutes to generate 1 energy, so you may have to wait a little while before energy comes around if you run out. Or sometimes if you complete certain things, like certainly daily events, you can actually help get more energy from that. I'm not going to spend 100 gems for that. You can actually buy gems too. Gems are a purchasable resource, but they are quite expensive, and I don't recommend it. Illudium. Let's talk about Illudium, because this is going to be another way how you get characters. What it is you'll get pieces for every Illudium you turn in. So when you first start off, you are going to start off with some of these, not as many Reatomizers. Reatomizers, what you're going to do is you're going to come and use your Illudium here. Like I got 5 right here. I'll turn them in, and here's where I get my pieces. I get 4 Farmer Porky, 5 Witch Lazar, and 3 Foghorn. In the beginning, you're not going to get Farmer Porky and Lazar. You're only going to get the ones you have unlocked so far. So you'll get all your Farce tunes. You'll get things like Scout Foghorn. You'll get maybe OG Bugs, though it's a rare thing. He is an epic attacker, so they're quite rare to get. So you'll get more of your pieces there for the area you're in. And the more areas you unlock, the more the ability you'll have to get more tunes from the Reatomizer. So you'll want to. This is another resource you want to eventually farm up as well. You don't want to keep blowing them in the beginning. You want to use it in the beginning to unlock all your tunes, but later on, start farming them up, because then you can get specific Reatomizers like the Nuclear Reatomizer. If you can use like 1,000 Illudium on this Nuclear Reatomizer, you are going to get a lot of tunes. Now, granted, this only comes out, I think, level 40, so you'll be saving for a lot of time, but you also miss out on a lot of tunes. But like I said, I would recommend waiting till around level 30, 35, then start hoarding all the Illudium you can get, and then using it, so that way you can go ahead and get a bunch of tunes. You can unlock a bunch of tunes. It's amazing how much you can get. But as you play, you'll learn your own playing style regardless. Another thing you'll learn to get to is these tickets. If you complete all your dailies, you'll be able to spin specific wheels. Sometimes you'll get golden tickets, which will allow you to spin the premium wheel. I wouldn't really recommend it. Premium wheel can give out some pretty decent tokens, but not a whole lot. Mega wheel itself is the one I'd recommend people spinning. You save 5 tokens up or 5 tickets up. Save the 5 golden tickets. You can get some really sweet tunes out of this. Not always, but you can. So I would recommend this one. Events will also have specific wheels as well. The Wile E. Coyote wheel. I've actually had an amazing amount of luck with this. I've gotten Wile E. Coyote from this once. I've got several of the other tunes as well. Again, it only costs 2 golden tickets, so that's pretty fair. They're kind of hit and miss sometimes. And the daily wheel. If you do all your dailies, you'll get daily tickets where you go here and get more pieces. And you can unlock pretty good amount of tunes from here. I believe this is where I got Pepe Labard, one of the better healers in the game. Alright, so we've got a lot explaining done. We've got campaign mode, which is one part of Mayhem. Again, which you'll eventually learn to unlock as you go along. World mode. This is kind of important because this is where another place where you can get tune pieces for free. If you remember, I said certain acts or certain battles will have resources like wood and things like that. Not all of them will have wood. They'll have like concrete slab. They'll have like spaceship parts or things like that. This is where you go to use some of those. Now, your character will have its own little house you can build. You will come to the world part, hit your character, and you can actually build, for instance, like Bugs' burrow right now. We'll take a look at that. You would build this using the wood and coins. Once you build it, you would have start off at level 1, and you could rank that up using the resources. Like we used wood and fine wood to actually rank this up to level 10. So right now it's maxed out. And you would max that out because when you max it out, you get the most out of all your tunes. Tasks. For instance, like dig a hole. It's only, what, maybe an hour, I think it's like a 15-minute task. But you get 100 gold, you get 3 to 4 dynamite, plus maybe 0 to 1 fine dynamite. But that's max level. In the beginning, you won't get that. Plant carrots, you get a little bit more. You get fine anvils, or you get regular anvils, which eventually become, you can get fine anvils and more coins. That's about 2 hours long. And finally, usually the bottom ones, the long tasks, they're 6 hours long, but you get a lot of gold and you get tune pieces from them. And for max level, level 10 right here, I'm getting anywhere between 2 to 6 Bugs pieces. Now, it may not seem like a lot, but seeing how you generally can't farm OG Bugs Bunny pieces, this is the most efficient way of getting them, unless an event comes around. So, it is what it is, but it does work, and I do recommend you, usually when you build a house, I always recommend people maxing them out, regardless. I think right now I am working on one house, which is level 8. Here we go, Robin Hood's tree. Not maxed out, so we don't get as much coin from it. We get 1.2k gold and 2 to 4 pieces. So once that's maxed out, it'll go to 1.7 gold and 2 to 6 pieces. Either way, it's efficient, especially for some of those event characters you get that, you know, they're hard to get in normal gameplay. So with that, we have that explained. And of course, the next part of it is the Brawl. This is the PvP part. This is where you get to play against other players. And this is where Brawl and banks come in, because you're eventually going to get crates. They're going to go to your banks, where you'll have to put defensive teams up to protect them. Now, right now, I have a lot of crates that are going to be on the verge of coming down. Actually, I've got 3 crates right here that are on the verge of coming down. Each crate has its own specific timer. These generally all have 8-hour timers right here. Even a tier 6, I believe, has an 8-hour timer. But the 7 hours that it's up, someone can actually steal it. So I do try to put some of my best defensive tunes on here to protect them. Now, when you build your team, as you're building your team, you'll eventually want to get 16 really reliable tunes you could use for this purpose. You don't have to do it right off the bat. You want to focus on mainly 1 or 2 teams in the beginning. But as you get to like level 30, oh, my screen shut off. Whoops. As you get to level 30, you want to start getting more and more tunes to get into this. And again, you want to have 16 teams. So there's 4 slots. You can be attacked up to 1 hour, and then once that time goes below 1 hour, it can no longer be attackable, which means you just wait it out for the last 59 minutes, and you get a crate. It's easy as that. To get crates, other than Acme crate delivery, which, you know, they can be okay sometimes, but if you want crates quicker, go to Brawl, because you're going to want a PvP. This is where you have player crates. You also have NPC crates. And if you're unsure which one is which, hit the character name. Wild Hair here is clearly a player. He's part of the NXT Gen group. Okay. And that crate's got 2 hours and 42 minutes left, which means I could steal that crate if I want. Wait an hour and 42 minutes, and it'll be mine. Unless Wild Hair wanted to take it back and stole it back. Now, NPC crates generally have pretty solid timers, like 8 hours right here for Lucas. Lucas is level 36. I can guarantee you that's going to be an NPC, and you could tell by the name Marvin's Clones. Marvin's Clone are all NPCs, so feel free to steal from them all you want. There's no harm, no foul. They generally won't take the crate. They won't take the crates back, but that doesn't mean players won't take that crate from you. They'll try to steal it. But if it was me, I would try to get the one from J.K. Kosher here. J. Kosher right here. Oh my goodness. I'm horrible with names today. Horrible. Anyway, because his crate has got 5 hours and 59 minutes, that's less time you have to wait. Now, it may seem like a jerk move, but that's the way the game is played, so take it for what it's worth. Again, if you don't want your crate stolen, make sure you have a pretty solid group. And I could tell by this, Rocket Sylvester does not fit in with the rest of the tunes in that group, so chances are that's probably going to be stolen by some point, just not by me. And there's a little bit of a method to this mayhem here, because the higher ranks you go, there's actually ranks in Brawl, and I'll show you here really quick. I am in Gold League 9 right now. Now, the more times you win, the higher ranks you're going to go to. You start off in Bronze, you'll go to Silver, and then you'll go to Gold. Then you go to Dynamite League, which is like the insane mode. But the higher you go, the more challenges you're going to face, so you want to progress at a certain level. In the beginning, you're probably going to start around Bronze League. I would recommend staying around Bronze League for a little bit, get your levels up, and just... It's easier to keep the crates that way, because again, the higher you go, the more challenge you're going to get. But it's one thing you have to keep an eye on as you're doing this, because it's very easy to get carried away and find yourself in a league where all of a sudden you are outmatched by the competition and you're going to be losing a lot of crates. So there's that. This leads into one strategy, what's called dropping. Some people sandbag, which is meaning like you're dropping almost like 10 levels. It's a bit of absurd, but some people do that because they just want to abuse the system. Unfortunately, this crate system is not perfect. People can and will drop multiple leagues just to steal crates or just to hold on to crates, make it easier. It's very unfortunate, but it is what it is. And they may change that in the future, but we shall certainly see. I'm going to go ahead and demonstrate what a battle looks like against player. It's pretty basic, not very difficult at all. I'm going to use my defender, which is Foghorn Leghorn, very strong indeed. Wile E. Coyote, OG Bugs, and OG Porky, which again, they have that bonus. I'm going to go ahead and use them really quick. And then from there, I'm just going to go ahead and automate this battle. So that way you guys can see how it rolls out. And I'll speed things up. So I like 4 times speed. It makes it so much easier. But yeah, it speeds everything up, even the music. But this is basically Brawl in a nutshell. You're going to go in here, defeat the opponent's team, steal their crate, and hopefully don't lose it. Now, generally, if you can find a player's crate that's like under 2 hours, I would definitely recommend trying to get those the best, because sometimes they forget about the crate and they just don't get it. So that's the best thing, if you can get it under 2 hours. As you can see here, we just blown the opponent away. Absolutely. But yeah, this is Looney Tunes World of Mayhem in a nutshell. This is what goes on. This is how you create your mayhem. And it may be hard in the first because there's going to be a lot of obstacles to get over, but you stick with it, you do the free-to-play, it would be pretty easy. But hey, if you want to pay for it too, that's totally up to you. I'm not judging. Once you win your battle, this would be the area where you would assign your crate to a region, then you would assign a defensive team for that crate. Or if you got the gems for it, you go ahead and just open them with the gems. But we're not going to do that because I only have 9 gems. Go to the shop. We'll take a quick look at the shop here really quick. As you can see, there's all these reatomizers in the reatomizer section. Some of these are worth it. I generally wouldn't recommend the reatomizers with the gems because they're not usually worth it. The only ones I really say is worth it are some of the epic ones when they come up. They only come up specific days, like Epic Reatomizer. Now, Nuclear Reatomizers, one you get at level 40. That one I recommend. And maybe some of the archetype ones here, like Defender Reatomizer, if you need them, or Attacker, or whatever. I think those are the ones that are more worth it. But either way, actually go through the shop. Here's what I talk about when you pay for things, if you want to pay for some of these packs. And the prices are absolutely ridiculous. $99, $19.99, $29. I wouldn't pay for this. I mean, some players do, and that's perfectly fine. I wouldn't do it. Of course, we have offers. This is where you can pick up other things with gems as well. League Store actually uses some of the tokens you get or the badges you get from Brawl League. So PvPing does pay off at a certain point, where you can actually purchase things like potions and tokens and some resources and whatnot. Tickets and Illudium. This, if you really wanted to spend your gems, this would be another area I would kind of recommend. Though you probably have to save up a lot of your gems. Crates. If you want to open a crate, if you have the gems for it and you want to open a crate without having to wait, this would be a perfect place to do it, but it is very expensive to say the least. And of course, more purchasing materials here. So, you want to get free gems, they use Tap Joy. There is a Tap Joy program they use. You go right here under Acme Offers for free. But some of these offers aren't really worth it. It's up to you to decide which offers you think are worth it or not. But anyway, that is Looney Tunes World of Mayhem in a nutshell. Let me know what you think down below in the comment section. I'd love to hear from you. Any comments, questions, or suggestions. If you're new here, be sure to hit that subscribe button and the notification bell because YouTube's silly like that. That way you can get notified of any new videos or live streams that come up in the meantime. If you enjoyed the video, be sure to slap a like on it because it helps the channel out greatly. Have yourselves a wonderful day, and I will see you again next time. The video's over, but there's more where that came from. Be sure to subscribe for more Terraria Let's Plays, Top 5s, and other videos as well as we cover different titles. You can click on one of the videos here for more. Be sure to rate this video accordingly as it helps the channel out greatly. Have yourself a wonderful day, and I will see you again next time.